Hi all. Right, straight back here. Showing you a bit of the picture there. Yeah, things have changed. Things feel like they're changing now with the 47th coming through here. And although the 58th we're kind of through here already, it starts to look like a much bigger force there. We've got the 5th Panzer Army card to come as well, so it'll grab a selection of these to make a move at some point. Well, I suppose unless we get lucky and it gets drawn for a combat tactic, but and then of course the first SS, like a big spread of them. So yeah, things starting to happen as you would maybe expect for the Germans. Maybe I thought it might have been a bit sooner, so whether we held things a bit better then, but it's starting to look a bit crazy now. Okay, so yeah, I figure it was just go back to the talking about the reserves there. Obviously, I've got the card. Well, I've got 2 cards that could deploy these. I had 3 and I used one last turn to deploy these. And I'd probably like to have the fact I could deploy these and then move them the next impulse. I do have 1 card to deploy these as well, but if you notice, there's 2 of them that are 16, dated 16. I'll get a free deployment of them starting the 18th, and there's 2, there's 2 armoured units that come in on the 18th as well. So, well, it's basically his 2 buddies. So, if we do that, we'll get all these deployed with a 1 card. Well, these will be deployed free, obviously, the infantry units. And then we can deploy them, and that then allows us to use and activate any 1 unit on the card, on this card, which I had considered to deploy these. So I think I might do that. But first of all, or would that be safer to do that first? I don't think they still can't reach Bastogne with an impulse. I don't believe. Maybe we should just double check. Yeah, they can't reach Bastogne at the moment, even if the 47 were to activate again. Oh, I'll tell you something else I've been forgetting about is putting a counter on the units. Who did we activate last turn? Well, that was the attack we made, wasn't it? So it was them. Yeah, it's not really going to make much difference here, but I should get in the habit of doing it. You know, it was another thing I used to do religiously with the Germans. So, okay, so I'm going to use this to deploy all core reserves. So we get this guy who, yeah, I would have got for free. But the fact that we're going to grab another 2 and they're not bringing in any others tomorrow makes more sense to deploy these, definitely, whether we leave the 12 core units, which I think I might do. We'll see. They've still got a couple of card plays yet. Might depend on what the Allies actually, what the Germans do. Sorry. Okay, so where are we going to deploy these then? Okay. Here's something that's quite interesting. I was looking here to see that do we need to deploy these in selector number order, because this one's dated the 16th, so I can deploy that with strategic reserve deployment, but I can't do that with these because this is the 17th. And then I thought, well, he's a first division unit, and so is he. So let's take this guy out of the equation now. But I'm thinking, right, well, I could deploy him with strategic reserve deployment, but I can't with him. So, and there's no first division units on the board yet, so how do I go about doing that? And then it's just come to me that these units have to be deployed together because they're both of the same division. So I'd love to think that I could deploy them both with reserve strategic reserve deployment, but I'm going to feel that the rules are going to say that because there's a unit that you can't deploy that way, you're going to have to deploy them normally. Yeah, I'm sure that's how it's going to be looked at. Multi-unit deployment. Units from the same division enter as reserves in the same impulse must be placed in the same hex. Yeah. When deploying reserve units from different divisions in the same impulse, you may deploy them in any sequence. The moment a unit is placed, it is considered in play when determining where subsequent reserves may be placed. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to assume that these two units have to be placed together. So what order I place them in could be relevant. Well, is there a 9th Infantry Division on the board? I don't think there is, actually. There's three... Sorry, I'll zoom out again a bit. There's 3 2nd Division, one there, and one there. And the two underneath here that are dispersed are from the 99th. Yeah, the first... Wait, hang on, though, where's the other 9th? Ah, right, yeah, they're spread out a bit. So there's none of the 9th and there's none of the 1st on the board yet. So, yeah, okay, I'm going to have to think about where I'm going to put them. Okay, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to put this unit in Malmedy. So he's within 3 of a unit in the same corps, he's on a supply road, he's in the corps boundary, that's the boundary there north, and he's 1, 2, at least 3 away from a German unit. So, going to place him there first, and then I'm going to place these two. Does it matter? I suppose at times probably slightly better than get to Trois Ponts. Maybe there actually. Maybe I don't need to worry about that at times. Just to have them as far west as I can, maybe. Possibly consider bringing them down to Manhay. Whoops, come on Grant, look at the camera. Sorry guys. Yeah, just to get them. I mean, they could come down to Vilsam, Trois Ponts, obviously a victory point, and then Manhay. So again, they're on a supply road, they're within the core boundary, they're at least 3 hexes away from a German unit, and they're within 3 of a unit in the same corps. Because, like I say, we didn't have their divisions on the board. Now we do, but obviously, yes. So, but with my doing that, I've got to remember that I've got a card to activate them next turn. So, is that going to be? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not really sure what I should be doing here. Let's just go with that and see what the Germans do. So yeah, it's just a deployment. So we can take that off because that impulse is cleared now, but we can activate anything next turn. Okay, so no more cards to draw, so let's bash on with another German impulse. Okay, let's see what we're getting. Oops. Making a mess, hang on. Okay, so we've got 2 divisions from the 1st Panzer, 1st SS. And they both got a 1, right? How's it? It's the card number, isn't it? We go by. Hang on. Yeah, damn. I think I was hoping it was the other way about. It's the lower card that becomes a command card, and this becomes a support card. And the reason being is there's a Commandos event here, which I can't exactly remember, but it's not good anyway. So I think that's how they're going to go. Right, yeah, okay. So 16th to the 18th event is Commandos on the support card. And yeah, I mean, to be honest, it's maybe not as bad as it could have been. Commandos discard the top card from the allied draw pile. Now, we've not got any cards, so if exhausted, it says discard a card of your choice from your hand. So that's going to happen, and that's going to be that applied. There's a quick look at my hand, and yeah, I don't think the no command, the engineer's card is that beneficial. I think yes, if possibly would have liked to have blown, mind you, would it really matter blowing this bridge? Not really, maybe. And for putting roadblocks down, I don't know, it's, yeah, I could probably find spaces, but I think out of the 3 cards, it's probably worthwhile getting rid of that. I probably do want to use one of these to activate any one unit and bring this guy down at Bastone, I think. The other choice is, well, I decided that not deploying the reserves was probably better, so that's probably going to be used for that. And this, to activate the 5th Corps, I guess, yeah. Not awful sure what to do with them, but there are a couple units that are dispersed, so it would remove them from dispersal. So, however, so I've only got 2 cards left in hand. He's still got a bunch in the draw pile, so kind of. I mean, we could pass. We can pass. Remember, maybe it's possible. I maybe should have made use of that up to now. I don't know. I feel like I've always wanted to do something though. Sometimes maybe not great things, but okay, so back to the command card. So it's not going to be the whole core, but we're going to activate the 1st SS and the 12th SS. That is 2 of their strongest divisions, though, isn't it? Just having a glance here. Yeah, I'm sure something's going to happen. Right, I'll get the camera moved up the top and we'll try and work out. There's just like a sea of yellow up there, but we'll try and work out how we're going to deal with it all. Right, it seems they're very scattered about, the 1st SS, aren't they? So we've got a unit here from the 12th SS, a unit here, and a unit here. This one's been reduced, so they're spread there as it is. As for the 1st SS, we've got this unit here, and then this unit here, and then the Piper's the other one. Now he's dispersed under here. So they're kind of like all over the place. However, we'll right, hang on here. I feel like I might want to go back and check something. No, it was forward arrows, wasn't it? That's right, that's what I said. You know where I felt like I might have blundered on the advance after combat. But these rolled, they did not roll an 8 and a 9, and they didn't advance. Oh, I think it is okay. It was the same with this one. We rolled 3 dice, and they were all in the primary. We needed a 1 to 6, I think. And I rolled like an 8, a 9, and a 7 or something like that. It was was all high die rolls. So I think that is right. Okay, so let's find out this 4, 5, 26. So 2 and 3. Well, the Piper was 1, but he's been reduced. So let's have a look at him anyway. So he's been reduced, but he's selector number 7. Well, actually, he's dispersed. So all it's going to allow him to do is remove his dispersal, which isn't a bad thing. But so selector number 2 is the first unit we're looking at. I'm sorry, I'm maybe jumping the gun here. There's no roadblocks adjacent to any of the active units. The objective marker, had a wee look, it's in Manhay. I'm not going to move the camera, but there's not a German unit proximate to it, and there's not a German unit within 2 of it. So that's that. So we're going to try and move these guys. So we're looking at selector number 2 to try and move. So I'll go and have a look. Okay, I think the first unit, selector number 2 here, is going to move. Maybe zoom out a little bit. Sorry, I know I've got a strange angle. It's just so I can get around here and up the higher part of the map. With movement method 2, funnily enough, closer to the objective and next to VP hex. Well, so Vith is a VP hex. This unit can go 1, 2, break in zone of control from this unit. So 1, 2, 3. We're just going to run it. I can zoom that out again. Sorry. 1, 2, break in zone of control. 3, 4, 5. Across this good bridge. So he's going to be adjacent. He's going to be closer to the unit's army objective and adjacent to an allied VP hex. Now this unit is surrounded, but by him moving, that's not changing anything because there's plenty of stuff round about him. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's only hex he can reach. Now he's moved through, a couple of things happen. He's moved through there, so a detachment's placed there. And he's also moved across this bridge, so that's another German bridge. So that was pretty cheeky. So I kind of thought it was going to be an attack on the, well, it still might, I suppose, but on this unit, because we've got this first SS. That's going to be the next one to consider, actually, isn't it? He's not going to be able to do the same thing, though. Okay, well, I'll go and have a look and see what he's going to do, because he's next in line. Actually, that's not how it works. He's not next in line. The movement method is next in line at the moment. So, but that's how I'm doing it. I'm just, I guess I just looked at him first. So, I don't think there's any other units that can do the same as what he's just done, but I'll have a quick glance. Yeah, well, actually there is. Or is there? Yeah, he's got zone of control there too. I first thought that this unit could maybe go up beside the Elsenborn, but it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so he can actually get in there. But it's the same. He's the same distance away from his army objective, so that doesn't help. But you would think one of these 12th SS units could surely do that. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, you can come out and in. Or no, he could even come down to this one. Yeah, so something's going to happen there. I want to have a look. Okay, so yeah, I mean, Unit 4 is already adjacent, and he can't get closer to his army objective and move to adjacent to an allied VP hex. But Unit 5 here certainly can. Now he's in zone of control, so it'd be, that's a road. I didn't realise that was a road actually. So that'd be 1, 2, 3, 4. that gets him closer to his army objective and adjacent to his VP hex. But you can also go 1, 2, 3 into that hex. So, which is the same, but that's actually closer than that as well. Whether that comes down to a tiebreaker, but it means that they're both adjacent to an allied VP hex. So again, I believe we look at tactical adjustments first, which would prefer an unoccupied hex, or then prefer a hex not cross river. Well, both of these are not. So I hope I'm doing that right. Again, guys, let me know if I shouldn't be looking at tactical adjustments first, if I should just be moving straight towards the tiebreakers. But I think because we're moving adjacent to an allied unit, we do need to look at the tactical adjustments first, just to make sure. Now, it doesn't matter in this case. They're both not unoccupied hexes. So the tiebreakers say the hex closest to the unit's army objective marker. So it's going to be this one. But yeah, by all means, if I shouldn't even be looking at tactical adjustments, just going to tiebreaker. I think I should. That's how I'm seeing it. But so he breaks zone of control and moves 1, 2 into there, and then 3 into here. Yeah, that's right. So he's moved closer to his army objective, and he's moved adjacent to a VP hex. Now, this town, can we not just assume that a German town's going to have a detachment? Surely that's, yeah. Maybe that's where I've been going wrong. Because a German unit has to pass through the town to gain control of it. And if he's in the town, he's controlling it. And then once he moves out of the town, yeah. Surely I don't need to place a detachment there. What I've got to remember is that, you know, that town is the same as a detachment. Is that right? Yeah. I think so. Okay, I was just wondering about, because I left this town empty, and I thought, well, you know, the restriction is do not move out of a town if doing so would result in allied supply being traceable to the hex. And I thought, well, surely it's not, but, well, it isn't, but if you look, it can trace into here for 1, it can trace into here for 2, I mean, it could trace into here for 3, but it can't trace into here for the 4th point. So it could go 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, hold on. No, it can. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh. Well, there you go then. So that means that unit will not move out of that hex, will it? Just double check that. Yeah, I think that's right. If I move that unit out there, then ally supply can be traced to it. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then off. I mean, the relevance to that one, I don't know. But that's the rules. Yeah. Yeah, and it restricts all movement methods 2 to 13. This is movement method 2. It's only method 1 that gets to ignore them. So yeah, I don't think I can move him movement method 2 anyway. Okay, so the last one to look at is this guy. Now, he might be able to probably do it though. Yeah, this guy can, because he can go 1, 2, 3, he could go 5 into there, or he could go 4 into there. I've already decided that none of these hexes are empty. So he takes the hex closest to his army objective as the tiebreaker. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So he's all right, and he's not breaking in that rule. It's just the fact he's in that town, and oddly enough, they can trace supply to it, unless I'm missing something silly, or I'm doing something silly. Okay, so I think that's as exhausted movement method 2. And I thought we'd moved. Oh yeah. This guy down here. Yeah, I was going to say I thought we'd moved more than one, but yeah, this guy. So we'll move 2 units. Yeah, he couldn't reach. That's right. Okay, I'll have another look. Okay, sorry, I was distracted there again. I think we're looking at movement method 10 and above. So this would be the first unit because he's selector number 3. Can't move via arrows. Can't. I don't think he can. No, there's no arrows. That's what it was. No, I certainly can't. Can't get closer to his army objective. Because I had a look at that, and then I thought, why did he not move away up here? But this isn't actually closer to his army objective. It's exactly the same. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, it is. So yeah, because he can't even break out and break in here because of where he is. Bit of a stalemate for him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, that's not closer than that to the west. So yeah, can't do that. And then infiltrate. Okay, good old infiltrate, but he's not stacked with an active unit this time. He's just stacked on. Well, he's not stacked on his own, but he needs to have another active unit, another active non-bracketed unit in the hex with him. So he can't do that. So he's going to move adjacent to an allied unit. That's the last movement 13. And it's move adjacent and less adjacent. So he's already adjacent. So that's him. He's done. So now we're at 4. He's probably going to be the same, isn't he? Okay, I think I might have to backtrack here a little bit. Well, I thought I was moving on to unit selector number 4 within movements 10 to 13, but I'm just looking back at movement method 2, and it's closer to objective and next to a VP hex. Now, I must have just looked at this guy and thought it was adjacent to VP hex, so unless I'm missing something. And then this guy, thought we could move this guy into here, but then he was leaving that town, and then this guy moved to here, but this guy could actually go 1, 2, 3, breaking zone of control, and 4 into there. He's still going to be adjacent to an allied VP hex, and he's going to be 1 hex closer to his army objective. So whether I just didn't look at that, or maybe just thought, well, can he do that? He's already adjacent to VP hex. Within the restrictions, it says the first restriction is do not move a unit starting adjacent to a VP hex occupied by allied units with strength 5 or less. Right, well, you know what, I've not looked at the strengths in the hex. I think some of them are dispersed. I get the feeling they're both 1 strength, aren't they? So it probably is 5. It says 3 or less in a city, unless it's moving to another hex adjacent to the same VP hex. So that gets me thinking that, you know, a move like that would be allowed. So I'll look back at movement method 2 closer to objective and next to VP hex, and all it says is move to a hex both closer to unit's army objective and adjacent to an allied VP hex. So I don't think there's nothing stopping that unit from doing that unless it's breaking any other restriction. It's certainly not breaking the one that we're looking at. So it should have moved before this unit had moved, by going 1, 2, 3, breaking zone of control, and then 4 into there. This unit would have then come along afterwards. So that stack's now full. And it still doesn't let this unit make a move though, because Allied supply is going to be traceable with that. 1, 2, 3, 4. We decided that, yeah. So he can't actually move out of there. Okay. Right, so I think we can forget about movement method 2 now and just go back to 10 to 13 with what we've got left. So that was 4, so 5. Well, it doesn't look like he can move, does it? Because if he moves out that hex at all, the way we're seeing it, Allied supply is going to be traceable to it. So yeah, I think he's going to go right to the end. He's adjacent to an Allied unit anyway. He's just going to not move. Something feels a bit off about that, but I've been there before, so so unit 3 can move, unit 5 can move. So we've got 1, 2, there's only 5 units plus the Piper, which is only going to remove his dispersal. So there's 2 there that have moved. Right, we have to zoom out again. Alright. Yeah, right. Camera angles. Right, this guy's moved. These 2 have moved. That's 3. And then the other 2 units are, there's 1 here and 1 here, and we've decided that they can't move. They are adjacent to Allied units, they're just going to stay there. This feels a little bit odd that he can't move out, but pretty sure Allied supply can be traceable with that hex. Yeah, the rules seem to state that that guy's not going to move. That restriction is going to keep him there. So okay, so that's all the movement. So now I've got to determine if any attacks are going to be made. Well, this is going to be the first one to check. So we've got a check here, and we're going to have a check here. Well, actually, check here first, then a check here second, then a check here, and then a check here. So yeah, there's a few checks, but there's not an awful lot of strength in each of them probably, but who knows. So right, let's set up for the one down here first and see what we've got. Okay, so this is 5 against 2. There's no support card. He does have an adjacent supplied unit. That's it. So it's 5 against 3 then. So it's not 2 to 1. Probably 1.5 to 1. I'm going to be frightened when I find out that I've got to check that 1.5 thing. I'm not very good with fractions. Okay, so we're going to roll a dice. I'm zooming out here. As our modifiers, attackers include elite. Defenders do not. That is correct, yes. It's not an army card, no support card. So there's a -1 at this die roll. Just chuck it up there. -1 to this. Oh, right, we've got a 10, so it's probably unlikely. So it's a 10, so it's -1 down to a 9. And I said, what, 1.5 to 1? Yeah, cancel of less than 3 to 1. So that's not going to happen. So the next check would be this guy here. And again, he's only checking on the fact this is not going to work, is it? He's only checking himself. He's coming across the river. The units are too scattered, I think. So is he 5 against 3? 2 against 3 because he's coming across the river. 2 against 4, 2 against 5. Yeah, let's not even bother looking at that one. That's not going to happen. I suppose this one might be possible. So, because there's 2 units here, aren't there? So we've got 7 against. I think it's going to be 5. I think these 2 units are 1 steppers. 1 strength. Yeah, 1, 2. Remember, they're dispersed. So the strength is 5. What did I say? Was it 8 or 7? 8. So 8 against 5. 8 against 5. Yeah, okay. Not in a forest. Not improved position. They're not adjacent to a supplied unit. Not in clear terrain, but they are dispersed. That hex has got dispersed units in it, so yeah. So that gives a -1. So now we're 8 against 4. Yeah? Yeah, that's right. So we're 2 to 1 odds. Modifiers. Probably none, because he's got elites and we don't this time actually. That doesn't do anything, but so there's no modifiers. We've got 2 to 1 odds. 8. Might be close. Yeah, nah. Cancel if less than 3 to 1. So that's a no as well. And the last one. Oh, wait a minute. Reserves. We've got a reserve unit from the 1st SS now. But I think, because it would have to be from the divisions, I think. Give me a sec. God, I was away there for ages trying to find what I was trying to find, and it was staring me straight in the face. Yeah, for a reserve unit to be a possible to join a combat, or for any reason, it needs to be an active unit. So the unit needs to be, when we activated 1st SS and 12th SS, that's what we needed to be in the reserve units box, a 1st SS or 12th SS unit. And that would be checked in the determination, the attack determination, and then also could come in the attack. But we've only got, it's just this unit here we've got from the 1st SS, so that's not active. So right, so I lost my place there. So we tried here, and then I think the last attempt was to try here, wasn't it? And he's 4 against 3. He's in the forest. 4, 5, 6. So 4 against 6. Yeah, that's not going to happen either, is it? Yeah, they're just too spread out, which, yeah, is fine for me, I suppose. Okay, so finishing off the activation, so there's no combats at all, but this is a possible time where we might look at eligible active units, removing the eligible active units to the reserve units box. Maybe not, but it's worth a look, because there's a couple. I think this unit here is stacked with another couple of units, so so they 2 moved, this moved 3, the Piper's 4. It's just this unit and this unit. This unit's not stacked with anything, so it's not going to move. So this is the only unit to maybe consider. So we'll just have a look. The unit did not move or attack. That's correct. The unit was not placed on the map from reserves. That's correct. The unit is adjacent to an allied unit. Yes. The unit can trace reserve supply. Yes. The removal of the unit from the hex would leave at least 2 steps in the hex, or 3 if it's a VP hex. So I think that's a yes. Well, he's just leaving 2 steps. I mean, it doesn't have to be from his core. That's not what it says. It just says leaving 2 steps. So the removal of the unit from the hex would leave at least 2 steps in the hex. And if it was a VP hex, it would need to be 3. If a unit is eligible for removal, remove it from the map and place it in the German reserve units box. It may re-enter as a reserve in a subsequent activation. So yeah, I think that's happening. So yeah, there's not, I mean, there was a few conditions for that to happen there, so it's not that it was, so pop him in the reserve units box. And like I say, the other one's not considerable because he's not stacked with other things. So just jumping back again to the activation. We've done that, we're not on the 20th yet, and then the last thing we can take the dispersal off the Piper unit here. So oops. Yeah. So there we go. So it was maybe not the best for them, but yeah. Okay. Right, this video's gone on too long. Said that a few times recently, so I'm going to clean things up there. Yeah, because that's the German impulse over. There's no support card. So I'll tidy things up there. I'm going to have to take a pause now anyway. I've had a good few sessions today with sitting down at the table, so probably won't get back. But I'll be back soon, guys. Okay, cheers.